Hey everyone, it's Mare from SickMom, checking in for day 20. We're almost at 3 weeks, and it's still going well. I even went out and had some breakfast at a friend's place this morning. It's nice to start feeling like, I'm comfortable being social, and there's certain friends of mine that have been along on this journey with me, and that they just try and be supportive and they want to feed me. So it was easy. It was scrambled eggs for breakfast. It was good. I was really happy. Yeah, so it's totally possible to be social without it being completely awkward. But I think it also depends on how much you're used to communicating that sort of information to your friends. Years ago, I found that when I had really restrictive dietary requirements that were there was kind of no rhyme or reason to it. So people had a really hard time knowing what to feed me. And most of the time I would say, hey, I'll just pack my own food and I'll take care of it so that you don't have to. Um, and invariably, what ends up happening, people care about you and they're trying to do something nice. And sometimes they'll make something or bake something or go buy something that has ingredients that you really need to stay away from. And it's hard. It's hard in that situation being the person that is on the receiving end because you don't want to be ungrateful and say, I'm like, I'm sorry you took the trouble to do this, and I can't eat that. I have done that, and especially in the very strict phases of what I was allowed to eat, it was just full stop. Like, just don't even try to cook for me. I have a hard time cooking for me, so I don't expect anybody else to figure it out either. But at least with carnivore, it's a lot easier because people say, like, I joke around with my friends, can you have vanilla? Sure, if you could tell me what animal it's from. I wouldn't say that to everybody. Certain friends of mine, they get my sense of humor. They get that I'm just joking around. But it's so easy to say, did it come from an animal or was it an animal? And that's the rule of thumb to follow. I wanted to share some of the interesting things that I've started experiencing as part of this carnivore plan. I had heard some other people mention this in a video. They said, "Oh, my teeth just feel so much cleaner. Like, it seems like the tartar buildup is a lot less." And I thought that was an interesting observation, and I was kind of hoping for the same. People's teeth have different textures, and my teeth happen to be particularly rough in some areas. So my rear molars on top, especially, are quite rough. So that's a spot where there's a lot of it's easy for plaque or tartar to build up there. And between my two front teeth on the bottom in the back, that's also a spot. I mean, I could try and floss forever. And I have really been working on my flossing game in the last few years because I've never been a huge flosser, like religious. I know some people that floss their teeth like multiple times a day, and my dental hygienist and I kind of have a deal. I'm like, you make sure you take care of your skin, and I'll make sure that I try and floss more. So, because she's a very busy mom as well, running her own business. So you do the best that you can. But what I'm finding is now that I'm just eating meat and things that have zero carbohydrates in them, so there's, such little sugar in my diet, whether that's natural sugar or added sugar, my teeth feel cleaner just on their own. Like, even at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like, especially the back of those two front teeth, they just feel so much cleaner. And I feel like when I'm brushing my teeth, I have an electric toothbrush, and I find that it's doing a really good job. And it's almost like I feel like my teeth are almost getting whiter, if that's possible, from just eating meat. Now, this is the only frame of reference that I have that I can kind of use to compare this to, but there's a lot of people who have pets that have put their dogs on an all meat diet, and most of the time it's raw. And I've seen the results. I mean, I was a dog owner for, 16 years, and I have read a lot of articles where people showed the before and after pictures. The dogs had really, really bad teeth. And when you go to get your dog's teeth cleaned, it's not cheap. It's usually, they sedate the animals, and that's never easy on your pet. And then, if their teeth just don't stay clean in between and they keep having to go, I mean, it's, some dogs have like miraculously beautiful white teeth like my Malamute did. However, my dumpster dog that was a rescue, Sunny, he was a baby when we got him, and he had been malnourished early in life. So the vets had told us when he came home with me, they said he may be prone to more ear infections, and he may not have the greatest teeth, so you'll just have to keep an eye on that. So, always made sure Sunny had lots of stuff to chew on. But anyhow, the reversal in dogs who've had really severe plaque and buildup on their teeth after eating a raw meat diet, that their teeth look, it's astonishing how good they look. They look like the dog never had any problems. So I'm kind of wondering if, there's a lot to it with having sugars in any form. So like carbohydrates or high carbohydrate, because that essentially can turn into acid in your body and on your teeth. That's why, drinking juice or pop before bed without brushing your teeth is a no-go, and it's always been a no-go in our household. When my daughter was a baby, she usually had water to go to bed. She had milk a lot when she was still really, really little, but then we switched her over to a bedtime water bottle, and she is such a huge water drinker, and it's really good. So but yeah, you need to really watch any sweeteners and any sweet stuff that you have can impact your oral health and your teeth. So I'm just happy to say that this is making my life a lot easier. I have really good gums, and I always have. I've tried to stay on top of that, but they are sensitive, and some days I find I have a hard time brushing my teeth twice in one day because my gums start to hurt. I do my best, but there's days where it's just not possible. So, and again, these are things that I've discussed with my dental hygienist, and just said, like, I have a hard time. I know I should be brushing my teeth after every meal, but my gums can't take it. So, and, especially I like to use a toothpaste, like a baking soda toothpaste that has just a little bit of grit to it, so that I can get those rough teeth cleaner, because a regular toothpaste won't do it. I need something that's actually going to get in there and kind of work at the buildup. So anyway, it's not often that I talk about the fact that I can't brush my teeth 3 times a day, but I'm sharing kind of everything with you. And some of you might be in the same boat. And it's not because I have gingivitis or anything. My gums are extremely healthy. It's more, I think, to do with the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, because my skin and my tissues tend to be a bit more fragile. And so that just makes my gums sensitive, no matter how gently I brush around the gum line. And I had really good brushing habits instilled in me because I had braces twice as a kid. So I do the best job that I possibly can. So that's a good positive side effect or benefit that I've noticed. On the other side of that, as part of this adaptation period, I am noticing that I'm getting what people who do keto might call a keto rash. It's not focused all in one area. It's just little tiny, like, itchy water blisters that come up, just like how my eczema or my eczema would come up. And that happens every once in a while regardless. But I've noticed it a little bit more and that it's a little bit itchier. So I do have some cream from my dermatologist that I can put on there, which is great. And it kind of helps to quell that itchy sensation. But I have been expecting my skin to freak out. I mean, I do have a few little tiny bumps like that on my face as well. And sometimes they get extremely painful. So having something to put on them that sort of helps reduce them quickly has been a blessing, because I've had those kind of bumps, like a huge breakout of them on my face, and it's quite painful. So, but so far the ones on my face haven't been painful, and the ones I've gotten on my hands and other parts of my body like my feet and legs, they're itchy but they don't hurt. So that's good. That's also part of everything that is clearing out of my system, everything that shouldn't be there that's trying to get out. Your skin is your largest organ, and so it does really work hard to flush out a lot of toxins. And drinking a lot of water, which I have kept up on my water intake. I'm making sure that I'm drinking still that 2 to 3 liters of water a day, and it helps a lot. And I think because I have been drinking a lot of water, that my skin hasn't really gotten worse. It's just kind of, getting those little itchy spots, and then they're gone in a day or two. So nothing major. I do find that my skin, especially the skin on my face, it just seems like it's brighter. I have always had really bad under eye circles since I was a kid, because I've had allergies my whole life, mostly environmental, and I just could never get rid of the dark circles. And when I'm really ill, like let's say for instance on the day one video, I not only had dark circles, but I had like huge bags under my eyes. My face was so puffy that day because I just had a really rough weekend. But I'm finding that this seems to be brighter, and there's already less swelling around my eyes too. For me, it's quite noticeable. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I do find that, like, because even my eyelids were getting really, really puffy from all the inflammation I had in my body, and that's starting to go away now. So, positives and some side effects with the skin too, and nothing out of the ordinary, nothing I didn't expect, and we'll talk about the gastro impacts as they come along as well. But I've really been doing so much research on how people get through the adaptation period and what kinds of things you can expect. And it's all very well documented. So, it's not like I would turn around and say, oh my goodness, I had diarrhea, I can't believe it. No, I have irritable bowel syndrome. That's kind of, it's a part of life. And so it's not unexpected for that to happen also, for things to get better and get worse before they normalize. It's finding that happy medium, and that's just going to take time. So other than that, it's been a good day visiting with friends and family, and had some great conversations today over breakfast with one of my girlfriends, and while the kids were all having fun after their sleepover. And we were talking about, future plans. And future plans, I'll probably dedicate an entire episode to what it has been like to talk about the future, being as ill as I have been in the last decade, how challenging that's been for me. But today I was feeling like I have this new confidence that I can start making plans. And that's not to say that I won't have any bad days, but I really do start feeling like, yeah, this is my year. This is my comeback year, where I get to be using the best of my talents and my gifts to help others in the world, and to, stay a part of the vibrant acting community we have here in Calgary. And I'm also a face painter. So I love having all of my creative endeavors. And when I turn my mind to business, I get to use a lot more of my technical skills, because my background is in information technology. So it feels good to have done 20 days of videos in a row and that I have kept up that commitment. I really believe you need to be your word to yourself so that you are carrying out the things that you say you're going to undertake. Sometimes I understand it's not possible. Sometimes you do have to cancel plans or things change. But when it came to doing these videos, I mean, it's 3 weeks tomorrow. It's amazing. And I'm so glad that I can share this with you. So, having 20 days of videos behind us, that's like a huge little celebration because I've made it this far. So, we'll talk about, the challenges of doing a daily video on another day. But for now, let's just say that if you like today's video and you want to celebrate with me, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you know exactly when the next videos are going to be landing on YouTube. And for today, that's everything. So here's SickMom checking out.